We're with you until tip-off in Memphis as the Grizzlies host the Warriors just after 8. They're sitting in 2-3, but we're looking a little bit lower in the Western Conference standings, 6 through about 11. The Pelicans now a half game ahead of the Lakers in 9th and 10th. Do you think, Zeke, that the Lakers could miss the play-in tournament altogether?
Well, they definitely can miss it. But here's the question. When is Anthony Davis coming back?
Let me do a quick search because that's a good question.
I mean, because, you know, he went out a while ago. And
like, where's the update?
But anyway, they definitely need, you know, some more players because, you know, what they're currently trying to win with, you know, it's just not enough. And with him gone, they don't appear to have any answers. No matter how well LeBron plays, it's just not good enough, Greg.
We still don't have a date either. Just likely not far off.
Yeah.
And just not knowing that and based on how they're playing, you gotta have us. And also factor in, they have a really difficult schedule to finish. I could very easily see San Antonio surpassing them and getting into that 10 spot. It's going to be a challenge for this group because right now, and you saw it if you watched any of that game after the first half, they got a lot of guys playing that aren't confident. And boy, when you're not confident on the floor, your teammates know you're not confident.
And the opponent knows.
And the opponent knows. And then when you're playing with guys who aren't confident, you start trying to do too much.
Yeah.
And that's a really bad recipe for the Lakers right now. And that was a game where they had complete control, up 23 late in that second quarter, and they just completely imploded and just got done from no one else. You know, and Westbrook wasn't bad last night. I mean, you figure if you get 57, 16, and 11 out of Westbrook and LeBron, and you get it efficiently, and they only had the 7 turnovers, which is not a high number for what they're asked to do, you would expect you have a great chance to win that game or should win that game, and they didn't.
And if you heard what LeBron said afterward, I don't mean to cut you off, but we've talked a whole lot about him in situations like these. He made it clear how poorly he felt about the loss, how poorly he's feeling physically now as well. It's tough to count out any LeBron-led team. You never have, but if he's not on the floor...
Yeah, and not only if he's not on the floor, but even when he's on the floor, the name recognition of the players and people that he's out on the floor with. And we talked about this earlier, like the officials, your opponent, you know, there is some respectability in like every part of life. There is credibility that comes with the name on the back of the jersey. And if you're playing with people that the referees don't even recognize, and then the fans don't even know who some of these guys are, the opponent that you're playing against gets mad, super confident about what I can do to this person and take advantage of him playing out there. So, you know, Avery Bradley, Malik Monk, those guys, at least they have name recognition. At least the fans know, at least the officials know kind of who these guys are. But when they're not out there consistently, and you got players out there with LeBron who some of us don't even recognize or know, it's like, what do you think's getting ready to happen? You're going to lose.
This is why you got to check your emails, though. We send all of it in via email.
Oh. This is my Shaq Barkley moment.
But also Sunday, Zeke, the Hornets beat the Nets in Brooklyn, 119-110. Each of these teams are sitting within the play-in, 8th and 9th. So let's take a look at a 6 through 10. This, though, feels a little different than the Lakers in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I feel like everybody, you know, we're looking at 6 through 10, but I look at 1 through 4, and they trying to run from Brooklyn. Nobody. This may be a year where, you know, everybody, those top 4 teams, at the end of the season, they may all lose, or everybody's trying to avoid number 1.
You're not rewarded. For
you're rewarded.
Sunday, though.
Correct.
Also marked Kyrie's debut in Brooklyn this season. Here's what he had to say afterward.
Harry, you said yesterday it was going to be a bit weird going from a road game to a home game after your situation. This was your first back-to-back in roughly 2 months. I know you didn't play 40 minutes last night in Miami. Did you think that impacted your play total today?
Yeah, I think it impacted everybody. Shots that we usually make, plays that we usually make, we just weren't at our standard tonight. And, we take full accountability. I take full accountability. I mean, 6 for 22, 40 minutes on a back-to-back. I think I could have made a bigger impact on the game. Just taking my time a little bit more and just let the game come to me. But definitely when you're out there and you hear the crowd reactions, you hear everything that's going on, try not to be a distraction, but it is what it is. And I'm grateful that we can move forward. But, tonight, my presence out there was just bigger than the basketball game. It was just representing a lot of individuals that are out there in a similar situation as me. And now that I could play, I think it should be opened up for everybody.
By no means does Kyrie's availability guarantee the Nets a title, but his full-time status may perhaps elevate them to a top contender, GA?
Well, I think they're going to be a tough out, and I think it's going to come down to the matchup. But the one concern now, and this is where if they get Ben Simmons back, it makes it easier. And you saw it last night defensively.
Ooh, they bad.
They were really poor. They were really bad. And the advantage they do have guys who have a defensive mindset. I like Bruce Brown. I think he can bring that. I think Drummond can conjure that up to a certain degree. I even think Durant and Kyrie understand it. They both won championships, and they know the emphasis placed there. But the problem they're going to have is they're going to have to beat 3 really good teams.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's possible. Because if you go in as potentially you're going to play Boston, Miami, or Philly in the first round. Then you could end up with Milwaukee in the second round. I just don't know that they're going to have enough continuity, depth, and they're going to just have what's necessary to be able to get over that hump.
But could they perhaps have enough offense, Zeke? Because we were looking at those numbers.
Yeah, they will have the offensive numbers. But when you're playing against those good teams consistently, will you have the defensive schemes? Will you have the defensive trust? Because it's, they're in situations now where it's like, okay, I can score on you, but the other guy is saying, you know what? Yeah, you get 50 on me, but you're not stopping me. I can get 50 on you also.
Again, you saw there no team that was that bad defensively has won a title in several decades.
So at some point in time, they're going to have to become a really good defensive team. And I don't know if they're committed to that defensively as well as they are offensively.
Well, on Tuesday, the